But when we went outside, it was a completely different story. I'm talking about you had the 1776 flags. You had people on motorcycles. You had the folks that were yelling. And honestly, as we were walking out and walking past them, they didn't say anything.
Not one word.
But as soon as we got to the other side near the cars, talking to the other people, because honestly, it was only about 5 or 6 of us on our side that were there. And this is why a lot of what I'm about to say actually took place, because they knew they were there in numbers. It was about 30, 40, 50 of them
I was going to say, yeah.
It was like a mini January 6th out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're all across the street and we're talking to each other. And honestly,
across the parking lot.
Across the parking lot. And then, Now, I'm licensed to carry, and I seen what was taking place. So I went to my car, and I went ahead and put mine on my hip. And the deputy was like, "No, you still on school property." I'm like, "Okay, cool, my bad."
Yeah.
Put it back in the car. But after that, went and, I know this guy on the motorcycle, he's yelling over at her and a few other people and this, that, and the other. And I'm just sitting here watching it because, this is my wife for one.
Right.
But, I'm trying to keep my cool. But I'm just looking and I'm like, these folks are really passionate about what they believe.
Yeah.
And some just said, go talk to him.
Right.
I talked to a guy on a motorcycle. I was like, hey, can we talk for a minute? Yeah, sure, man. I'm wide open. Okay, cool. I'm wide open too. Let's talk.
Right.
So we started talking, and some of the stuff that he was saying, it was literally contradicting what he was saying. He was contradicting himself, but I don't think he even realized it because he was so dead set on what he believed. Like, they are passionate about what they believe, and they're not. Some of them, not all of them, are just flat out. I'm careful how I say this. They're not flat out racist per se.
No,
I think they just believe in the things that have been told to them across the podium, for lack of better words, by a certain...
I think it's more constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
Constitutional rights also. It definitely...
Let's just take, for example... because we had a similar situation. Of course, we're covering up my Aubrey story. George McMichael and Travis McMichael felt like they operated in their constitutional rights. This is why they took the video to the public and said, hey, Ahmaud Arbery was running in our neighborhood. We had under the Constitution, of the way we believe the Constitution, we had rights to do what we did, to justify what we did.
I just can't even see how they even could interpret the Constitution. Listen, I'm a firm
because we all view it a different way.
Yeah,
the law's viewed different. It's like if a black man carries a gun, even though you're licensed,
even though we're licensed,
you're viewed as a thug.
Right.
If a white man carries a gun, he's viewed as protecting his property, his land.
Yes.
Right. But that goes to what I was saying. That's not Constitution. That comes from the way you were taught. Correct. Not out the Constitution. Your upbringing mixed with the Constitution creates an Ahmaud Arbery situation.
Gotcha.
I feel like the Constitution needs to be rewritten. That's
right.
Because it's just like, okay, come on, we're in 2021. You're still going for something that was
independence.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so doggone old. It's like, okay, that needs to be updated. But one thing I will say, I tell Jerry, it's so funny. We both are licensed to carry, right? But now, in the state of Georgia, you don't even have to have a license,
Right.
But so when I carry a lot, and I open carry a lot, So when I'm out and about, it's so funny. If I don't have my gun on my hip, some white people will be like, if I don't have it, when they see it, it's like.
Now on the flip side,
it's different for him.
When I don't have it, it's, hey, how you doing? When I do have it, it's,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
It really is. It really is. And it's weird, but I mean, this is the reality that we live in. And to their defense, on the other side, they don't understand it because they never dealt with it.
Right.
They never dealt with nothing like that.
Henry County's growing. You didn't have to. I mean, it's a new day in Henry County.
It is. It is.
I mean, I was looking at the board of the commissioners 10 years ago. Commissioner Bruce Holmes was a commissioner, was put in office. It was like all the other commissioners was white.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, you can tell all the pictures that are hanging up when you go down there.
Yeah, all the pictures. It's like, it's
very bright in here.
Yeah, it's very bright.
Yeah.
Then now you see we got, you know, it's a little mixed variety, but, you know, to speak to the fact, the Board of Education mandated the fact, okay, masks in schools. Okay. At this rally that happened at the school board meeting, it turned into a rally.
Right.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah. It turned into a rally.
It turned into a rally because the meeting itself was probably on the actual meeting. Probably took all of 20-30 minutes at the most. Maybe. No, you know what, you're right.
No, nowhere near it.
They went over. They went over note. They started at 7:00.
Maybe
went
5
over
minutes.
Notes, and then it lasted about 5 or 6
minutes. It didn't last that long at all.
And that's only because Mackenzie McDaniel was still taking, hearing other people's side. Yeah, that meeting probably lasted about 5 minutes, and then when Mackenzie got there, it lasted maybe an additional 10 minutes beyond
10 or 15,
that.
yeah.
Mackenzie actually sat there and answered questions from.
He did. He tried his best. He really did.
Best. He really did.
He really did.
He was really just being an open ear.
Okay.
Somebody, I think it was Eldon Alexander, that said that he feels like Mackenzie is a gem to this county. I can see why. I mean, I can see why. But he really did. He listened to both sides.
He did.
Okay.
He did. Yeah.
Yep.
He gave everybody who wanted to speak a chance to speak.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow. After Kim, CBS 46 portrayed you as the African American woman.
Angry black woman.
We know you're not angry.
Not at all.
We know you're
not at all. Let me tell you something about Kimberly Knight. Kimberly Knight has never been in trouble a day in her life. People actually call me a square. Okay, I've never had so much as a parking ticket. I've never been in trouble with the law. I respect the law, actually. I'm not gonna say Blue Lives Matter, but I will say I back the blue, because there are no blue lives, so let's get beyond that, but I do support, the police and everything, but I don't support you when you're wrong, you're out there doing things that you shouldn't be doing, but I am far, from a threat, I never have been, a threat, and I never will be, because I care about being a mother to my children, I can't do that from a jail cell. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not going to let somebody come in and just, get me to a point to where I am arrested. It was funny because the guy was like, she's a threat. She needs to be removed. A police officer was literally standing right next to me. And I looked at him and I was like, excuse my language. I'm just going to say fool. I was like, this fool just called me a threat. He was like, don't worry about it. Just don't. And I was like, I said, do you feel threatened? He was like, no, I don't. I said, okay, all right. I'm literally standing next to a police officer, and at that point he was trying to actually, get me to calm down, because for the individual that really got up under my skin, I'm not even gonna lie. I told Jerry, I said on the September 13th, when we go back for the next Board of Education meeting, I said, I'm going to sit quietly. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be there in support of, but I am also the type of person I'm ex-military. You're not going to threaten my life and just think that I'm just going to sit there, and just, okay, fine. No, so yeah, I did get very loud. I did, who you threatening? That was me. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. That was me in that video. I've had people call me. They called me. They were like, was that you? I'm like, yes, it was me. It was definitely me. And I told Jerry, I said, it was funny when I saw myself, I wasn't embarrassed at all. I was mad because CBS 46 actually spun it to make it look like I came in angry and I was screaming at the board members, which I was not, and Jerry was actually, he told the other side, y'all, chill out, let them speak, meaning the board members, so we were there in support of the board making the decision to mandate masks. Like Jerry said, my mom, she's here. She's over 65 years old.
Right.
She has dealt with COVID and pneumonia. Okay. You know, and so we also have a daughter who's 9 who cannot get vaccinated. You know, he and I are fully vaccinated. The 14-year-old is fully vaccinated. We're fine, but we have people in our home that can't be. So I was there to voice my concern. And what I want people on both sides to realize is it's okay to listen to the other side. Right. You don't have to fight. You don't have to scream. You don't have to holler the way that because I'm going to be honest with you, that's what made me just go, because people were screaming at us because we were sitting there being quiet. It wasn't right. You know, and we were just taking it in at first, and we were just quiet, and we were just looking at them and everything. And so I think that kind of fueled them to keep going because we weren't, you know, giving them what they wanted. That's all I gave them what they wanted. Right. You know, but then I turned into I was the aggressor at that point. Yeah, they never were. They were never aggressors.
Same person that said she was a threat is the same person who started off from the jump with me about not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Was it right? Pledge of not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. Is the same person. He and a mob of other people on his side tried to bum rush Kim outside. Yeah. They tried to run up on her.
Yeah, this guy's like maybe 6'3" or 6'4".
6'3".
I'm 5'3".
The Captain America shirt.
I'm 5'3", and he comes after me in the parking lot.
I'm like, not today.
He literally came after me in the parking lot.
Yeah, they came out there, and there was actually other people. You know, some people that are going to see this. There was other people that, from TOP that were there. Keandra Renee, yeah. Keandra Renee. Yeah. Keandra Renee Burt. They were there and they saw this all take place. So this isn't so much, you know, this is their version and this. No, I mean, like you heard her admit, that was me. Right. Yeah, I was. Yep, I sure was. and I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't care where we're at. Nobody's gonna run up on my wife.
Absolutely.
That's just not gonna happen.
Absolutely.
So yeah, full disclosure, I absolutely will protect me and mine.
Absolutely.
At all costs. Absolutely. But just understand that there's, you know, it's just sad how the media can put a spin to some things. Like, you know, we've heard it before, you know, fake news, this, that, and the other. You know, all news ain't fake. It's just not. Like 11 Alive, they did a really good job.
11 Alive did a good job covering the story. They did.
They even quoted me in their article.
Kudos, 11 Alive.
But, you know, it's just amazing how when you have a media outlet that is so towards one side, how they can spin the story to actually rally the troops, you know what I mean, so to speak. And it's like, you know, but honestly, truth be told, the only reason why it got to that point is because there weren't that many from our side there.
And honestly, that's what happened with Ahmaud Arbery. If he would have been running with 4 or 5 other young men, that probably would not have happened. I want these people to stop trying to attack us for doing regular everyday things that other people do. You do this as well. You get out and run in the morning for exercise. Yeah. Why is he killed for doing that?
Right.
He had every right. Every right to be out there running, to be out there walking, the man was on a public street.
Yeah.
He wasn't in anybody's yard.
Right.
So why did that happen to him?
Right. Where he pays taxes.
We're always viewed as a threat. And all we want to do at this point, like I tell people all the time, I don't want to be equal. I don't even want to be equal. You don't even have to add me in. Just leave me alone. Can you do that?
That's right.
Can you do that? Just leave me, because at this point, I'm 41 years old. I used to want to be equal and like, no, treat me with respect and you don't even have, just leave me alone. Right. Don't address me. I'm not talking to you. I'm not, you know, I'm here for the same reason, you know, as you. I'm here to speak on behalf of my child. We have different concerns, but I'm here to speak on behalf of my child. And I have every right to do that. And so do you. But you feel the need to attack me. That's not okay. It's just not okay. And CBS 46, do better.
Last but not least, anything you would like to say to the community in a better way we can protect ourselves as a community here in Living Henry County when it comes to COVID? Piedmont Hospital is full.
Yes.
I got a lot that I can say about that. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Okay. We have now been in this pandemic for 18 months. And most of it is because everybody is so eager to get back to normal. But we can't get back to normal if we take some other steps first to address the current climate. Everybody does not agree with the vaccination. That's fine. If you don't want to get vaccinated, no problem. But just put on a mask. Right. The mask, honestly, the mask is not even for you because you may not be affected by COVID-19. There are some people that are asymptomatic. Some of y'all could be walking around with it right now and you don't even realize it. Wow. But you start talking, or like we sing, you start singing and whatever else, you have going on, it travels on the particles, the whatever you want to call it, whatever it's called, it travels on that, and that gets in, and that's how it gets airborne, and someone else can breathe that in, and then they might not be affected, but then they come home to someone else and they spread it to them, they are affected. They may not realize that they have it yet. They go to someone else, spread it around to them, to a few people that will and won't be. And this is why we are where we are right now. You cannot expect us to get back to normal if you don't want to take the steps to get us there. I get some people, natural immunity, hey, that's fine. Do you. But when you're in a public setting and it's affecting other people, respect that. Because the same way you want your rights respected, we want our rights respected as well. We have a right to not get a virus that could possibly take us out. And some people say, oh, that's just people with pre-existing conditions. Well, if you know that, then put a mask on.
Exactly.
If it's pre-existing, so you don't care about people with pre-existing conditions?
Right.
That's I guess my biggest frustration.
Okay.
Nobody's trying to take away anybody's rights. I had to ask somebody this question before, again, on a social media platform, where they were like, it's our right, it should be our right whether or not we want to muzzle our kids or put our kids in masks and all this other stuff. That's fine. It is your right. But I have my rights as well. You cannot infringe on someone else's rights just so you can get yours. That's not how the world works.
Right. And
that's where this privilege comes in, where you feel like you have the right to do that, like you're all that matters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay. It's not okay. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time out to share your story with us. It changes the game for the local community.
Yeah.
It changes the game for the local community, and I must say, I learned a lot here today, and we just want to make sure we keep the kids safe, protected. One last thing before we go, show us those nice, pretty shoes on the camera.
Oh,
shoe cam. Shoe cam. We on Wendy Williams.
Let's go.
That is funny.
Too, we have like she mentioned earlier, we have the Board of Education meeting.
Yeah.
That's taking place on September 13th.
Okay.
Please don't be a keyboard warrior and sit around and do all this complaining
on Facebook, Nextdoor, all this
Nextdoor, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. Don't sit there and do all that complaining, and then when the time comes for you to show up,
you don't.
MIA.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Show up. A lot of times, stuff like what we dealt with, it only happens because our side doesn't show up.
Yeah.
They won't do that when you show up in numbers.
Right.
They know they show up in numbers, and we don't.
That's right.
And that's exactly why they do that. This is just, it would not happen. Yeah, they may still yell a little bit, but are they gonna try to run up on people? No. This is just not gonna happen. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I'll
say that we do show up in numbers. We show up in numbers,
right.
When we deem it necessary to. And so this is definitely a necessary thing. We do.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
We do. So yeah.
Look at black people don't go nowhere.
They go to church. You hear what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We're gonna be there for the Lord. You hear me? We're gonna support the Lord.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Especially if you got kids in Henry County.
Right.
Yeah.
This affects you.
Yeah.
This affects you, and everybody knows right now that in Henry County, these cases are going through the roof.
Yeah.
So yeah, show up, make your voice heard. Let them know who the voters are. Let them know who the majority are. Show up.
That's it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
For taking the time out.
Thank you.